is Doreen Dia, and I am the CEO and founder of iPROMISE. My title is also an occupational therapist. So occupational therapy, also known as OT, it's a rehabilitative therapy approach to adults and children with physical, sensory, cognitive disabilities and limitations. And so we kind of take the whole body overall and help create a safer space for people with disabilities and limitations to be able to be as independent as possible. We teach them dressing skills, social-emotional skills, feeding skills, many different things, just so that they can live everyday life as normal as possible. So the story about iPROMISE and how it's come to be what it is. Initially, I was working with geriatrics, so the elderly, and rehabilitative care then, and they didn't quite understand what occupational therapy was, and they weren't quite accepting to it. And slowly is where I started to see the need in the community and ask questions, and I slowly started to find out that this service was basically non-existent. That's kind of how I started to develop my business plan and work around the need of children with disabilities here. Future plans and goals for iPROMISE is definitely to expand and grow. Now that we know there is a need here and the demand is very high for the services that we provide, we hope to be able to eventually build our own school that can be modified and adapted for the specific needs of our children with disabilities. We also hope to be able to collaborate with other schools. We also would love to continue our center, which is one-to-one private sessions, along with our regular full-time school as well. We currently do not receive any assistance from any government or organizations that are in the area. We are privately funded by myself as well as my business partners and Della Seca. And so we are starting off very small and hope to be able to collaborate and educate so that those fundings and things can come in for a lot of our students. So some of the diagnoses and disorders that we see in order, number one would be autism. Autism is a neurological disorder, and every child is different that it affects. They have different symptoms and signs. Our number two would be cerebral palsy, which is also a neurological disorder that affects children in many different ways. And then our third would be Down syndrome, and the fourth would be just intellectual delays overall. Some of the challenges I face here running a business in Gambia. The first, I would say, would be lack of education for my specific business. So everything kind of right now falls on myself. Another one would be, I think, work ethic. So teaching my staff the importance of customer service, the importance of showing up on time, importance of not calling off and knowing that this is a professional environment. And I think another one would probably be the lack of support. I think it's very, very difficult because people don't understand quite the severity of what this is and the importance to the extent that it should be. So I think it's been a struggle just to kind of educate and get the word out there to get people to accept it and come on board. So what do I think the community should know is that the misconception with these children is that they are unteachable. So when they come in, we get parents that say they're unable to go to school because they're too difficult or they can't manage them. They're not able to learn. And for us, we want the community to understand that they are teachable. It just takes a little bit more time and effort and patience and understanding to get through to them on a different level than you would with a typical child. So I think the community just needs to learn to educate themselves and be more open-minded, because all these kids need is just extra love and patience and care. And with that, they can go a long way. So currently, we do not follow any standardized curriculum. We have a modified curriculum that we are teaching. So we have to integrate sensory, fine motor skills, things like that into their academics. So what we do is just take a curriculum and then modify it to fit their individual needs. In our classrooms, we have a 4-to-1 ratio. And in that is, there's 4 students to 1 staff member. There are a max of 16 students and 4 staff members in each classroom. This way, it helps the child focus and be able to be redirected right when they lose attention. My staff members are amazing with our students. They are the ones who are there day to day. They work with them with their needs. If a child has a meltdown, they are able to remove them, take them to our calming room, and help them kind of readjust their emotion and then reintegrate them into the classroom. So our teaching is we integrate a lot of self-care and independent skills through our day-to-day basis as well as academics as well. So we teach our students all of their ABCs, colors and shapes, but we also teach them to feed themselves, to dress themselves, to be able to communicate whether it's with words or without words, and to regulate their emotions. So we find that to be more important than them learning 1 + 1, because it is more important for them to be able to take care of themselves. But in our older classroom, we do have an older classroom where they are actually learning higher levels of academics, and they are just learning individually at their level. So iPROMISE is currently located in Bruceby Phase 1. We do have social media. We have Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, and our username on there is iPROMISE Care Services. Our email is iPROMISECareservices@gmail.com, and then our phone number is 777-8646. So you can stop by for a visit. We are always open to tours of the school. So the process of enrollment is you can call and we will then schedule for them to come in for an in-person tour. During that tour, we will be able to get background information about the child that is in need of the services. But once you come in, we offer the services, we take you on a tour of the school, and then we will allow you to decide which best fits your needs.